Have you ever noticed how you said something negative and it just makes you feel whatever the thing is even more? Delving into the energy we speak, how our words, our attitude, and our emotional energy can shape our daily activities. I'm just depressed today.
Has somebody ever said something negative to me and I carried it to it? Well, yeah, I think this happens to everybody at some point in our lives. This thing about manifesting, you just have to say that it would happen and then it would happen.
The complaining mentality, it can also affect us.
We are a frustrated set of people in this country.
Instead of saying I'm tired, what can you say to make it positive? I need rest. Hello, 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 and welcome back to Anywho, the podcast. Today, we're going to be delving into the energy we speak, how our words, our attitudes, and our emotional energy can shape our daily activities from money to our mood. So, Aisha, have you ever noticed how you said something negative and it just makes you feel whatever the thing is even more?
Well, yeah, I think this happens to everybody at some point in our lives. Um, has somebody ever said something negative to me and I carried it to it, in multiple
And
in
it
multiple
affected it affected how your day went or how you just viewed things, or just affected you, multiples, as you said.
Mm. So yeah, definitely. Oh, sometimes it can even start from the night before. So somebody tells me something at night and I'm just unsettled. I don't sleep well. So I wake up the next day and I'm still in that mood and the whole day can just be a blur or it can just be just terrible because of that information. Because no, I'm not focused on anything that I'm doing really. And my mind is just all over the place. And so I'm not as productive. And I don't know, the day will just feel quite bland until, I get that whole thing out of my system. So yes, our energies definitely
Yeah.
affects our
For me, there's
productivity.
there's a there's almost a routine. What should I call it? A routine negativity that I have on a weekly basis, and it happens always on Sundays. And it's not for the reason you might think. I don't know. I feel like some people, like most working adults, Sundays are like the days that it's the end of the weekend and tomorrow there's work, and you're like, blah, 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 blah. But I wasn't always a walker, so I don't think that was always the case. But sometimes, right? Every Sunday would come around. I don't. It started one random Sunday where I was just like, I'm just depressed today. Maybe it's because it's Sunday. Yeah. Sundays make me depressed, and then somehow ever since, Sundays turn around, whether there's something happening the next day or not, I just feel sad on Sundays for some reason. Oh my
But then the
God.
next day is Monday, so it's like understandable. Monday, there's always something on the Monday. So even if it's not work, it's
Yeah,
school, you have
that's
science,
that's
you have
that's my point exactly. That even the days where there's nothing on a Monday, when we're on holiday or whatever, the Sundays still make me sad. Yeah, it's interesting. I was baffled. I was baffled by it until I saw somewhere about this thing about how your energy can affect you more ways than you might think. And then I was thinking, oh, is that why I'm always sad on Sundays? Like, should a Sunday just come about and I'd be like, today I'm gonna be happy, and then see if I change, if anything's different. Uh,
Hmm. Funny enough,
yeah.
I've never really had the whole "oh, tomorrow is Monday and I'm depressed" type thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess
I
I
actually like
don't
Mondays.
Mondays in the context of I have to go to work or I have to go to
Yeah.
school. It can get tiring when you think about it, but to me, it's like waking up on a Wednesday morning and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to go to work today. Or
Yeah.
thinking about going to work on Friday on a Thursday night. Like it's no particular to Sunday, beginning
Yeah.
of the week. And I gotta
And
go.
for me, it would make more sense if it was the other way around. because I actually quite like going to school. I liked going to school, even
Mm.
well, most times I'll be like, yeah, it's time to go to school.
Oh my
Woohoo.
goodness.
Obviously, there's always the days where you're like, oh, I don't want to go today, but for the most
Yeah,
part,
but your norm cannot be, yeah, yeah, I'm looking forward to going to school. I mean, I didn't have a problem with going to school, yeah, but I was not
yeah.
excited, ecstatic about going to school every day. That's just weird. If you're in primary school, maybe. Nursery school, maybe. But uni, oh my goodness, at that point, you're just done. You're tired.
It was a time to come and see my friends, see you guys,
Mm.
instead of staying at
I
home
mean,
doing
we
nothing.
appreciate it, but yo. Mm-mm.
Well, yeah, yeah. I've never been the one to be sad about Mondays either. Oh, but do you know what I heard recently? One of our friends, um, yeah, I told you this a couple of days ago, and at some point, when we were in school, he said something. I said something rather wild. I don't know what I said. I was like, I don't know, something wild. Maybe I was like, oh, you just walk onto the road and a car will just hit you and you just die. Or something like that. Or something wise like that. And he was like,
Okay.
yo, blah blah, words have like
Power.
power.
I think it's the way people talk about like manifesting things. Okay, no, manifesting is different, but words having power. I'm not sure. I don't know where I stand with the whole words having power. Yeah.
I stand on the opposite side shooting AK-47 the people on the other side.
I mean, and I understand that 100% because if words have so much power, why do we only say that when we speak negatives? Yeah, because all the
Yeah.
positives that we've been speaking into our lives, all the I want to have this and that and that and that, we don't have that. But the moment you say one thing about getting hurt, the moment you say one thing about some accident, the moment you say something about not getting what you want, these words have power. Words have power. But if it is all the positive things, I mean, well, maybe it works for some people, really, the positive part of it. But people don't really call it out as much as compared to when people speak, you know,
Yeah,
negatives.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
So,
it happens. And yeah, it did happen that one time because of something negative happening. But I will say a version of words having power that I would probably align more with rather than just any random thing is saying, like as you said, manifesting things, just saying things positively and that positively affecting you in a good way.
hmm.
Um
This thing about manifesting, I don't
yeah.
feel like when you say things that seem like you're manifesting something into your life, in my head, the way it works is that you are now positive about this thing. And I think as a natural phenomenon or whatever, you work towards the thing. Yeah. So it's not just that you're saying it, manifesting, and then you sit down and you do nothing. For most people, you want this, you talk about it, you work towards it, it happens or not. But let's say it happens. But for the manifesting, when some people speak about manifesting, it's like you just have to say that it would happen and then it would happen. I don't think a lot of people I feel like talking about it just it's not just manifesting it and saying it and full stop. Your
Yeah, true
brain now
that.
works towards it. Your mind, your body, you actually do work and you work
Yes.
towards it and then
Yes.
it works for you. Not just that you're manifesting this GL 450 in 2 years and you sit down and and then you just that is where power in the tongue comes in and you're like, okay, you said it
Mm,
and then full stop. And then you're not doing anything about it and you just okay. So
yeah.
mm,
Yeah, that is facts. That is facts. Even the what do you call them? The sheikhs and malams of the world, they also always say the same thing. Like, oh, people just pray and then go and sit down on their bed, laying and waiting for it to come to them without doing anything.
Exactly. Like you have to.
Yeah, you gotta put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Anywho,
Oh.
now let's talk about how people's energies affect us. People's energies would affect your own energy.
Yeah, real.
Me,
Let me.
personally, I work with whatever energy I see normally. So if you
Really,
come to me and you're
really,
all sad, then I cannot be too excited around you. Now I have to collect your sadness
and also be sad.
and also be sad so that, it's not read the room, type thing.
Yeah,
It's sad
yeah,
and somebody, but then it works the same. Like for me, it's this. I don't know. It's just if I'm the one that's sad and someone comes with a lot of excitement, I still feel like I have to come out of my sadness to work with their own
yeah.
excitement. I don't know. I guess it's a me thing.
So that's a good thing if it's
I
if
don't
it's if
think it
it's
is
if
really.
it's no, just that part where if you're sad and someone becomes happy
No,
and
but
then
then
they
we're
making
allowed
you
to feel
happy.
our feelings. We're allowed to feel, even if
Yeah,
they're bad. We're allowed. Sometimes you need to work through your emotions to truly come out of whatever space you're in. Yeah. So just because someone has called excitement does not mean you have to shut off your own, I don't know, moments
yeah.
of sadness or crying or whatever, just, to be as excited with them. You should be allowed to feel your own feelings and take your time to, go through it all and then come out of it, you know.
Yeah, true. When you mentioned other people affecting your mentality, the one thing came to mind, right? You often see online is people talking about how you can start a conversation about a thing that's usually known to be bad, and you just have to start complaining, and then everybody would chime in. And one
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
example
Typical,
is
like in this country,
Nigeria.
just talk
Yeah,
about
well,
it and
exactly.
you have an entire thing. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're in the outside and you want to have a conversation and then just be like, oh, this economy is bad, and everybody's gonna be like, "Ooh."
Ah.
So I was just talking about how the complaining mentality it can also affect us, anyone, or how exactly does it affect us?
Hmm.
Because I feel like, complaining too needs a limit, don't be complaining too much.
But then it's easier said than done. Like we are a
It
frustrated set
is.
of people in this country. It's it would take a lot for you to just try to find a balance to your complaints. I mean,
Mm,
like I said, we're frustrated. We are going through too much already. So when you start to talk, when you start to complain, you just keep going and you keep going. Although complaining might not necessarily solve anything at the end, but it might make you feel better seeing as you're complaining to other people that are also going through your own dilemma. You all understand what you're
mm,
suffering together. And
yeah.
I don't know, you might just feel a tad bit better now that you've talked about the whole thing.
So it's almost like complaining feels a little bit satisfying in the moment, at least.
Exactly in the moment until you go back to your
Mm.
lives and see that okay, oh, that was just a momentary thing,
What do you think is the difference between acknowledging reality and being negative?
Hmm. So between being a realist and being a
Negative.
pessimist,
Yeah.
sometimes okay, no, in my head I'm thinking optimist. Um, so being a realist compared to being a pessimist, compared to thinking negatively, would somewhat give you peace of mind. I think
Yeah.
because with being a realist now, you understand what is happening, and a part of you has like accepted it for what it is.
Yeah.
You- And so your brain is like, you're coming to terms with it and you're not worrying yourself too much. You're not in a constant state of worry, thinking about how you have to force yourself out of this situation. You just at least to some
Mm,
extent you're in a stable state. Yes. Now if you're
yeah.
negative all the time, your mind will be everywhere, all over the place. because you're thinking plenty. And
Yeah.
then in all your thoughts, you're not even thinking about, like, how do I put this? In all your thoughts, nothing is coming. It doesn't look like it's going to get any better. If we're even being honest, this country, oh my goodness. But yeah, in all your thoughts, it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. So it's like you're just constantly suffering in your head. And you have refused
Yeah.
to accept that this is your reality. If you refuse to accept that, this cannot be my life, this just cannot be it. Actually, when you now think that there are other people elsewhere in this world that live so much better lives, and you just can't accept that this is it. So now you're just constantly suffering and suffering in your mind and in your reality too, because all of that thoughts will affect your productivity, your thought process, the way you live life. You wake up in the morning, you're frustrated. You go to work, you're frustrated. You enter traffic, you're frustrated. You come back, you're frustrated. Even
Yeah.
while you eat, you're frustrated. You're praying, you're not praying, you're not focused in your prayer because you're frustrated. You go to bed and you're unsettled, you're frustrated. And then now, you know, weeks, months, years have passed, and it just becomes probably just becomes your entire being. And that's just not normal. Of course,
Yeah.
as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to all of this, it's better to be an optimist. I'm okay, no, I take that back. That might not be better, because to be an optimist, you're just going to give yourself false hope, and you keep hoping and keep hoping and keep hoping, and if nothing happens, damn. Okay, so I can't say that that's better.
Well,
No, no,
you
no.
you you heard it. You heard it here first. Aisha is anti-optimist.
No, no, no. I'm not anti optimism. I'm just. It's hard to pick a
Yeah,
side.
I get you.
It's better
I
to be
get
a
you.
realist, really. But then being a
Yeah.
realist now
I,
means that you accept where you are truly, and you're not looking to get any better. No, you
yeah.
can look
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
better while you're a realist, right?
Yeah. You can. Then you start to seep into being optimistic about the future.
Exactly. Exactly. So while it makes sense to accept where you are for your peace of mind, I think you should still want better. It's just that
Yeah.
wanting better would come with false hope sometimes. This is tricky, man.
Yes, it is. I like how you went full circle and then now we're back to us being optimistic. Well, anyway, I asked because I was wondering where, complaining would fit between being realistic, let's just say like a group of people are just having a conversation about being realistic, a realistic topic, and then to the other end of the spectrum where it's about being negative, and then it's a group of people that are just being negative together. It might stem from my naturally introverted personality, but I don't find myself in that situation very often, or I avoid it generally. The complaining in a group of people, so I can't really relate with whether or not it feels satisfying in the moment. Sometimes I try it, as the videos suggest, to have conversation with people, and I'll be like, oh, everything. I've literally said those words before. I was like, Kai, this economy is doing terribly. Just as a conversation starter, literally. And yeah, it worked, but I couldn't really say anything as a follow up because I didn't know what to say. I was like, oh, and they were like, yeah, everything is getting expensive, right? And I'm like, yes, 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 it is. And I couldn't. I'm like, damn, I started this and now I can't continue it. But yeah, it's
It's
interesting,
interesting.
If you feel a bit satisfied from it, I could see the argument that's like, okay. But if I'm going to look at someone, if I see a child coming up, I'm gonna be like, yo, make sure you don't complain, don't say anything negative, okay? Blah 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 blah. In hopes that would be better for their mindset, should I say?
Mm. But then again, people work differently. So in hope
Yeah,
that that will be better for their mental state. I'm not sure. I do. I think we don't get to decide for them. That's what I would say.
yeah,
We
yeah,
can.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We
It
don't
would
get
it
to
would be a
decide for
suggestion,
them.
I guess.
Yeah, could be a suggestion. Well, we don't get to decide for them.
Well, speaking about the future, there's one thing that we all hope for in the future, as you were talking about while you were explaining your thing. And that is, you said there are people living better lives. And obviously, as we're living our life, we're all trying to get that moolah, as they say. How, wait, how do you, um, should I say dream or manage your hopes about getting money?
Hmm.
Like, what's the line between being realistic about your finances and manifesting something greater?
I'm not sure. I don't want to say there is a. Hmm. I don't want to say there's a limit. You know, like
Yeah,
we're allowed to
yeah.
want as much as we want for whatever
Hmm.
reasons. Yeah, as long as you're working towards it.
You're
Like
working
you
to get it,
actually do
huh?
work
Mm,
towards getting it. Now, in working towards getting it, I feel like your brain would start to understand how much you can truly get. You know, of course, aside
yeah.
miracles, it's because there's
Hmm.
miracles, and you could just wake up one morning and receive some ridiculous amount of money. So, aside,
Yeah.
things like in your working towards getting, you know, some certain amount of money, you would understand your limitations, or as far as you would possibly be able to get. Because
Yeah.
then, I mean, there's growth now. So if you're working, then you know you could do better and then more and more and more and more. So I feel like ultimately you can see that you can get to a certain place based off of how much
Hmm.
work you're putting in. So
Yeah.
I think we could work with that. You know.
Yeah, it's but having being a what is it called, an optimist, being a realist, and being a pessimist all have their pros and cons when it comes to your mentality and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
If you're being what is it called? If you're being an optimist, maybe your life would just be a little bit more upbeat because you're looking forward to something good happening. But then you now have to manage the hope, the when you don't get it and when everything goes down crashing, and you're gonna have to manage.
Mm.
Well, there are some people that are very good at being optimistic even in the darkest of times. They're like, oh, it's all gonna be turning out great, and never lose hope. And there's the realist that the pros. What are the pros of being a realist? I don't know what the cons are. The pros are just another also kind of what is it called? Reassurance of preventing yourself from having that low after your hopes are not achieved. Maybe you're like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. There's a quote that I cannot remember, but I think it says nothing good ever comes to those who something something something. I'll probably remember by the end, but yeah, yeah, that's the so. And then there's obviously the pessimists. Them, to their honest, the only pro is they probably think it's safe that they are avoiding the lows with having hopes, and then just everything being
I
good.
wouldn't
So
even
they're
count that as a pro. To be a pessimist is just I don't know. There's no pros really to being a pessimist.
yeah, true
Because
that,
then
true
what are you
that.
doing? What are you doing really? What all you do is not see any good in anything and
Yeah,
angry all the time, and
it's all just
it's
cons
just
actually when you think about it.
really really just coins. There's no I don't see the pros to that.
Yeah, yeah, that's true, that's true. So now it now just becomes about balancing being a realist at times and also being an optimist sometimes because you need a bit of ambition in your life. You need to be like, I
You
need to get
do.
20
We all
million.
do,
I need
really.
to get 20
We all
million
do.
by next tomorrow, and then just put in the work to do and do that. But yeah. So
You
yeah, we have
see
to.
now, setting those dates is what will run you mad. Yeah. You need to get 10, 20 million. Like, calm down. Okay, we're gonna get there, inshallah, but like, let's calm down a bit.
I just had a eureka moment.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remembered the quote.
I know. I'm listening.
And by remembering the quote, I mean I just looked it up. Um, Nothing good ever happens to a realistic person.
Okay, that makes sense.
Nothing significant
No, but that's
was ever accomplished by a realistic person. You can't test your destiny cautiously. Don't play for safety. Safety is the most dangerous thing in the world. So it's actually from a book called Know Your Limits, Then Ignore Them. Shout out to the book. Anyways, back to the topic. Nothing ever good happens to a realistic person. That's that. So now it's like, how do you balance not lying to yourself versus not reinforcing negativity? Yeah. Well, we're all figuring out, man. We haven't figured it out clearly. It's a constant struggle. That's all I will say.
yeah, it is. I agree with that. It is a constant struggle.
Balance between acknowledging your struggles and just wallowing in your struggles.
I think, depends on the situation, really. So different situations call for different reactions to them, whether you would be optimistic about it or realistic or pessimistic.
No, no, no. Pessimistic is never on the table. It should never be on the table.
Yeah, it really should never be on the table. I mean, when you can't even
Yeah.
get anything significant out of being a realist. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah.
So it's gonna be like being optimistic and then being realistic. And okay,
Mhm.
that's the balance you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then how do we stop being pessimistic? Because as you said, some situations just call for it. The life just happens, and you can't help but be like, oh, everything sucks.
So I think with regards to stopping being a pessimist, is to and again, this is easier said than done because when you're in the situation now, your brain won't even be very functional. But it's just
Yeah.
to look back to all the good moments that might have
Yeah.
occurred leading up to that point where things look like, it's not getting better. The good things that could still be happening even in that point. Because sometimes you're overpowered by everything negative,
Yeah.
but there's still some good happening, even if it is down to you being able to walk. In fact, your health. Now everything could be
Yeah.
chaos around you, but like at least you're healthy, you know, or
Yeah.
at least
That is
you're
facts.
still doing fine.
That is
At least you still got your
yeah.
family, or you've still got friends. At least there's still a roof over your head, or at least can still, you're not struggling for your next meal, or at least there's just always something. At least there's something. Again, it's easier said than done because some situations your brain will not be working normally, and it will be
Mm,
insensitive for somebody to come and tell you, "Oh, at least look back to something good." I mean, because
yes.
we want to hear that in those moments. But I think coming from
Yeah.
us, from our own selves, there's just, I feel like there's just always something, you know,
Yeah.
something good.
Yeah, that's true. One thing that I believe can help is as you said, when ish happens, your brain, you might not be in the best mental state to be extremely positive. So perhaps even outside of those dire situations, you could already start to do little changes, that you could that would possibly help you much better, more naturally, without trying too hard when you reach those situations. Perhaps maybe reframing negative things that just come naturally to you or to for you to say. Like, what's an example? Maybe you could replace the complaint of being broke. You could just replace that with money no day, money no day, oh, but
Don't
no
use
yawa
go bad at this. Just talk normally for the love of God.
Oh wow, it is normally though. Okay, I'm broke. You could say, I don't have money now, but inshallah, it's coming. I don't know
When
how to
you
say that.
don't see the means, when if you don't have a job and you don't have people you can trust,
Oh,
things like that. So that's all for
oh,
people that maybe have jobs and they haven't paid them.
yeah.
It's the end of the month.
Like,
Yeah, that would work.
okay, new example. So now, what's one thing that we say all the time? I'm tired. I'm tired. Instead of saying I'm tired, what can you say to make it positive?
Enlighten us.
I need rest as soon as you come back. And because well, that's a thing I'm guilty of. I feel like that me just saying I'm tired, Seth. I'm already becoming more tired, becoming more in a foul mood. Now I feel more tired or feel more irritated. I don't know. So I feel like saying, "Oh, I need rest." It'd be much better because the outlook now turns from I'm tired right now to I'm gonna be rested in a bit. So it's like, oh, I'm looking forward to that rather than now realize be wallowing more in the realization that I
Yeah,
am.
that's like, focusing on the solution and rather the problem.
Exactly. Oh, I love that line. I love it. Someone clip that. You must post that on the internet.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense, really.
Yeah,
And I feel like generally
exactly.
too, not just in this, like generally, when we focus more on the solution, it's just that sometimes we really do just need to complain. Most of the time, more often than not, we know the solution. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm broke. Now I gotta go work for money. Not that I'm sitting down saying that I'm broke. Or
Yes.
stuff. We know the solution. Sometimes solution is hard, but yeah, we know the solution,
Mm,
and for the times where where we can actively work the solution, it's better than the complain, complain, complain. So yeah.
yeah. That is facts. I like that. Well, in summary, language and well, basically how you speak, how you say things, how you view things can kind of mirror or affect your mindset. Maybe you're not broke. Maybe you're just temporarily between millions.
It's not maybe you definitely are temporarily between millions. You just have to
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
to look on the temporary right now. Mhm. So moving forward,
Okay.
be aware of your energy. Speak kinder to yourself. Protect your peace and notice how your reality starts to shift.
That's kind of cool.
Mhm.
All right
Anywho,
then.
thank you guys for spending this time with us.
So yeah, like, share, subscribe, tell everybody to listen to it. Hopefully you found it useful in a way. Or also just share your thoughts on the whole topic in the comments. So yeah, looking forward to that. All right then. Bye guys.
Bye, guys.